Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm going to be giving you part 20 of What If Naruto Was Given a Second Chance. Remember to get this one to 300 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also stay in tune because I'm going to be posting a new episode of What If Naruto Was disowned by everyone over an Anime King 2. I already posted a new episode of What If Naruto Learned the Clone Secret in the beginning, so go ahead and check out that and enjoy guys. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, and you haven't yet checked out Anime King 2 guys, go ahead and check out my second channel and enjoy each and every watches that are coming your way. And thank you all as usual for your help and your support. And remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new, I'll be replying and talking back to you personally guys. So yeah. Without further ado, what is to begin this new episode? Begin the intro. So, the last time we left off, as Naruto walked off with me, as Sasuke was currently talking with Haku, as her words really got to him, when she talked about her experience, as she could see the look in Sasuke's eyes, he's wanted something that is really burning the very depths of his soul to get it. As she told him that vengeance is never the answer, Sasuke got a bit angry at that, but she apologized for interfering with his business, but he told her it was okay. Meanwhile, Naruto and Mei was in the forest of Konoha as they were talking. Their conversation got a bit heated, as she gave him permission to speak freely because he didn't want to say anything in a way that might offend her, as she was curious to what he was about to say. As he started talking a rather way that made her feel rather flustered, as she was surprised at herself. Before anything could escalate even further, Kojiro came, as Mei was a bit upset as she wanted to hear what Naruto had to say, but she bade him farewell, as he told her to just give him a little time. She will understand soon enough. She gave him a charming smile as she told him she will wait for him, making Kojiro wondering what they were talking about. As Haku asked Mei if she could say goodbye to Naruto, she went out in the forest. As Naruto met up with her, as she told him that they didn't get enough time to spend with each other, but he told her that they will see each other soon. She was about to walk off, but he held onto her hand as he pressed her up against a tree and started to kiss her, as it went on for a long while until they broke the kiss, as she went off with a huge blush on her face. We then had a time skip as a man at the Hidden Stone named Onido. He was happy. His parents got killed in the war by one Minato Namikaze. There was a bounty on Naruto's head given out by the Hidden Stone, as now Onido wanted them to go after him, knowing that this man was the son of the fourth Hokage. But even though he wanted vengeance, he was not a fool. Things would not be grateful right now if he ended up going to war with Konoha, so he turned down Onido's offer, as he warned him not to do anything stupid or there will be severe consequences. As Onido just nodded as he headed off, with a pissed off look on his face, he was not going to let this slide. At Konoha, Sarutobi and Jiraiya showed Naruto the new bingo book, and his name in there as well. As Naruto told him that this is what he showed them his skills for them to not underestimate him, for them to not think that he was scared of any challenge that might come his way. As Sarutobi sighed, things were just going to get more difficult now, but he will have to have some faith in Naruto after all. As he also called Shikamaru to the office as well, as Naruto and Shikamaru got promoted to Chunin. He already had a mission set up for Naruto before he got promoted, as he gave them the mission to escort Yuki Fujikage towards the land of snow, as they were shooting a movie. As Naruto made a bet with Jiraiya that he could get to Yuki, as Jiraiya simply shrugged it off because there was no way the kid could get the actress, so he made a bet with Naruto, as Naruto was going to give him a large sum of money for him to go and do anything he want with all sorts of women. And Naruto told him that he would just owe him. He will ask him for something and he will just give him. There will be no questioning or anything. As Jiraiya agreed with that because in no way the kid was going to get her. So, Jerry talked to Kakashi as he told him about the bet and told him to keep an eye on Naruto and see if the kid really came through with his, well, speech that he was going to get with Yuki. And also to watch out for the kid as well because the bounty on his head, as Naruto was berating Sakura telling her that he was a Chunin now and she had to follow his orders. So they met up with Yuki, but she was riding away on a horse as Naruto caught up with her. Before the samurai guys could get her, Naruto flashed away with her as she ended up kicking him right in the stomach as she went to a bar, as Naruto went there and drank with her. As she drank till she passed out because the Kyuubi was burning all the toxins out of Naruto. And with that he picked her over his shoulder and headed off, as she woke up on the boat, as she was pissed off at him. But he simply told her that he would make her change. She snorted at that. What the hell did this kid know about her? What the hell did he understood? Meanwhile, to a dark cave we skip, as the Akatsuki got the information on the recent developments, well, regarding the Kyuubi Jinchuriki, as the leader told Kisame and Itachi to be careful, because if this boy is really capable as the bounty says, they need to watch themselves, as Kisame relished a challenge. So yeah guys, that's basically that's where we left off. You guys can switch across the page and check it out for yourself. So what is to begin this new episode. Team 7 was currently watching the film crew as they were shot in the movie, as Koyuki was currently talking to one of her injured comrades, as Sakura was just watching the movie. She's a wonderful actress, Sakura said. Yeah, but she's a bit rude and stuck up, said Naruto. What? She's not that bad. Huh. I guess you haven't talked to her for a long while, said Naruto. What do you mean, Sakura asked. Well, you will see her personality soon, when you talk to her. It's futile, princess, the bad guy of the movie said, as he pointed his hand at her, but suddenly an explosion went off behind him. Kakashi quickly flashed towards them as he stood in front of them. Is this in the scene? The man asked. Hey, what do you think you're doing? The director asked, as he saw Kakashi jump into the fray. Everyone get back, Kakashi shouted, knowing that was not normal, as a hooded figure came out of the snow. He had long purple hair with green eyes, as he was wearing a strange armor. Welcome, friends, he said, that smirk on his face, to the land of snow. You, said Kakashi, before he snapped his head towards the side. Greetings, Princess Koyuki, said a woman, as she had purple hair and the same kind of armor on, but in a rather female manner. I do hope that you're still carrying around the hex crystal, the girl said. Kakashi narrowed his eyes as he turned towards her. Princess Koyuki? Another large man, that strange gauntlet on his hand, burst out of snow as well. Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, you three, protect Yuki, said Kakashi. Everyone get back to the ship, he shouted. Fubuki, Mizore, the man said. I will leave the princess to you. Very well then, the girl said, as Kakashi dashed forward to meet the leader. It's been a long time, Kakashi Hatake. Don't tell me this time you're going to run, asked the man. Nadade Oka, said Kakashi, as Kakashi flashed forward as the both of them started to engage. As Sakura shouted for all of the people to head back to the ship as she pulled a kunai. She turned and looked at Yuki, who was shaking. As Yuki looked up at them with a frightened expression on her face. Princess, you need to get back now. You watch her, Sakura, Naruto said. Sasuke, come on, let's deal with these guys. Sasuke looked at Naruto before nodded, as the both of them jumped off. The girl named Fubuki landed right in front of Sasuke. Ice style, Tsubame Blizzard, she said. Sasuke speed through hand sign. Fire style, Fireball Jutsu, as he released a massive fireball out of his mouth, incinerating the attack. As Naruto stood there, as a large man started to snowboard towards him, as Naruto jumped out of the way, as he pulled 3 kunais and threw it after the man, but they simply ricocheted off of the armor. As the man then came back around towards Naruto as he leaped off of his board, as he came down a bone-crushing fist, but Naruto tilted his body as the man's fist smashed into the ground. He then swung around his other hand that Naruto blocked with his blade, as sparks were created by the two metals grinding against each other. Naruto's blade then started to hum as wind chakra started to pulse right through it, as the blade was not cutting his armor, but a blade of wind sliced him on his cheek, as he quickly jumped away. When he landed though, Naruto was gone, as he looked around trying to find the kid, but then a feet smashed into the back of his head, knocking him down to the ground. You should really scan your surroundings, Naruto said, as the man picked up himself and swung his gauntlet towards Naruto, as Naruto raised his hand and caught it, before spinning around and delivering a powerful kick towards the man's chest that knocked him back. as Naruto jumped straight up in the air and came down with a heel drop. The man quickly jumped away as Naruto's feet hit the ground, denting it in, before he pushed off. As he flipped forward, the man tried to block and evade, but Naruto was just too fast, as he smashed a fist right into the man's nose, cracking it upon impact, as the man was sent sailing as he smashed right into a geyser. Meanwhile that was going on, Koyuki was on her knees, as she was remembering that she was being taken from here, crying out for her father. As Sandia was begging her, "Princess, please, we must leave this place at once," he said. "You're in grave danger." "No," she said. "You gotta go now," he shouted. "You're like, I don't care if I die," she shouted. "I don't care anymore," she said, shaking uncontrollably. I won't go back there," she said. As Kakashi and the leader of his squad went to hand signs simultaneously and created two massive whales. As they smashed in together, as they break the glaciers, the entire thing started to shake. As Naruto simply jumped away, as Sasuke jumped away from the girl as well. As Kakashi landed, "Let's go," he said. As Naruto picked up Koyuki, who had passed out, and threw her right over his shoulder, as they went off with Sandia. As the group landed, as they watched, the Konoha ninjas retreated. As Fubuki, she was dragging the larger man, seeing that he got the crap beat out of him, and he was unconscious. Time skip. "So what happened back there?" said Sakura. "Why did they call Yuki that strange name?" As Sandia had a worried expression on his face. "That's because she's Koyuki Kazahana," said Kakashi, "the rightful heir and ruler of the land of snow." "It's true," said Sandia. "She was just a little girl a long time ago. I first met her as her aide, but she was still young. I don't blame her for not remembering me. I served the princess's father." As Sandia went on to tell them about Doto, as he conspired against his own family to take over after killing the former ruler of the land of snow. As the man broke down and started to cry, until they heard footsteps. As they turned, "Princess," Sandia said. "Yes, I did survive," said Koyuki, "but my heart is dead," she said. "Princess," he said, "I wanted you to come back here to take up your rightful seat as the ruler of the land of snow." "Wait," said the director assistant, "so all this time you have been using us?" "I deeply apologize," said Sandia. As he dropped to his knees, "Princess, I beg of you," he said. "Just be quiet already," she shouted. "It doesn't matter what you say. I don't care one damn about that place. So grovel and beg all you want." Kakashi narrowed his eyes at Naruto because he expected Naruto to outburst about something like that, about her behavior. But Naruto said absolutely nothing. Even Sasuke was curious as well. As Sakura was surprised at how Koyuki was acting. "This is marvelous," said the director. As his assistant turned towards him. "What is?" "Just think about it. Whoever got the chance to shoot a real princess in action." "Yes, you're right," said the assistant. As he smiled, even. "The talk of this movie will be a hit." "Well, there isn't many options left now," said Kakashi. "Know that Doto is on her trail. Running is not an option anymore." "Well, it's not like we were going to leave the mission in the first place," said Naruto. "So what do you say we continue the mission and return the princess back to the land of snow?" "What's wrong with you people?" Koyuki shouted. "Can't you guys see there is no such thing as a happy ending? Why do you people consist of going on with this?" "Of course there is," the director shouted back at her. "If you're willing to fight, then stand up for it." Koyuki snorted as she simply walked away. Time skip, the group passed the railway. As everyone came off of the vehicles. As a man then rushed over. "We got a big problem. The princess ran away again." As Kakashi looked at his team. "Come on, let's go and find her." As the three of them nodded as they split up. Meanwhile, Koyuki was running as fast as she could. She was never going to go back to that place. But her body finally gave out on her. She collapsed into the snow. As her vision was getting rather blurry. It doesn't matter if she dies here, because she wouldn't go back to that place. Yes, it's best if she dies here than go back to that place. That place that brings her so many horrible memories. As she went unconscious, Koyuki woke up as she felt that she was being carried. She was moving, but not on her own. As she blinked twice before looking down, the first thing she saw was the long blonde hair. "You," she said. Huh, you kind of passed out back there, said Naruto. As the both of them are currently in the railway. You phoned me again, she said, that snarl in her face. Of course I did, Naruto said. It is my mission after all. So why do you keep on running away? Don't you want us to defeat this guy, Doto? There is no point, she said. It doesn't make sense if you defeat him or not. Nothing will change. Of course there will, Naruto said. When we do defeat him, you become the rightful Daimyo of the snow and take charge, and then true change can be shown. After all, you've seen how much Sandy is fighting for you to do that, right? You can't just let the poor old man down like that. Why do you even care, she said. This is just a simple mission for you. Once you're done with this, you will never come back here. Well, I can see how much you're hurting, said Naruto. What? What do you even understand about that? As Naruto thought to himself, well, in this life, he had Yu-Gi-Oh there for him, so he had to go back to the previous one. Well, I suppose I can tell you, Naruto said. Tell me what, she said. Do you know what a Jinchuriki is? A Jinchuriki? I heard something about that once. Supposed to be some sort of strange human sacrifice, but I don't really remember, she said. Well, a Jinchuriki is someone who has an external power inside of them. Something that might take control or make them lose control and do terrible things. Well, if the conditions are met, alright. I am one of those Jinchurikis, Naruto said. What? She said, narrowing her eyes at him. Yeah. You just know that people don't really take kindly to what they don't understand. So growing up in a village where people don't really like you, glaring at you every single day, and just wishing bad for you because you were some sort of demon. Yeah, that was pretty bad, he said. As she narrowed her eyes at him, did you really went through these things? But I still kept my head high and fight through all of that, because I knew that one day I would prove all of them wrong and become the ninja that changed all of their hearts by protecting them no matter what. Why would you give a damn about them, she asked, if they treated you that way? Well, I'm just that kind of guy, he said. But I'm not a pushover either. Her eyes then narrowed. You mind fixing your hand, she said, as she didn't realize up till now his hands were on her butt. What? I'm carrying you after all, Naruto said. At least you can do is let me do this. What? You're carrying me, so I should let you do perverted things to me. What are you talking about? You were the one that came on to me in the first place. For you to let me go, she said, but you didn't. So remove your hands. It was then the ground started to shake a bit, as Naruto narrowed his eyes. As she looked behind her, as her eyes went wide, it's a train, she said. As Naruto looked, oh, a train. You idiot, run, she said, or we're gonna die. I thought you didn't care about dying, he asked. Her eyes went wide as the train started to come closer and closer, but the next thing she knew, the both of them vanished. Koyuki blinked several times before looking around. What just happened, she said, as they were now outside of the railway. You okay, Princess, Naruto asked. What did you do, she asked. Oh, I got us out of there. How, she said. Well, with one of my many amazing abilities. It was then steam started to come from the train as the top part opened up. As Koyuki's eyes went wide, my dear Koyuki, as Doto appeared on top of it, along with the leader of the three-man squad. It's been over 10 years, Doto said. It's nice to see that you're doing well, Yuki, said Doto. As Koyuki went quiet, changing her name, did you really think that you could escape? Today is the day that we end this, said a voice. As Koyuki looked over, Sandia? As she saw that Sandia was with a numerous amount of samurais, all of them holding up their blades proudly. Today we end your tyranny, Doto, and return Princess Koyuki, and let her take her rightful seat as the leader of the hidden snow. I'm sorry about that, my liege, said Ruga. I will handle it at once. No. With men such as these, there is little they can understand than total annihilation. Attack, Sandia says. All of them start to run down. But the compartment of the train started to open up as all of the man's eyes went wide as they saw kunais. As Naruto thrust his blade forward that stabbed right in front of Sandia, stopping the man. As Naruto appeared in a flash, as he pulled out a scroll and spread it out on the ground, as he went through hand sign, Sealing art, magnet drawn pulse, he said as he slammed his hand on the ground. All of the kunais were released from the ship as they came firing towards the group as all the man's eyes went wide. But before they could interact with the people, they all came stabbing down into the ground where the seal was as Naruto moved back along with Sandia. As Team 7 then came down off the horizon and jumped down. Naruto, said Kakashi. Don't worry, I handle it, Naruto said. As all of the kunais, all of the weapons that were being produced out of the train, all came stabbing down as Doto narrowed his eyes. As Naruto pulled out a kunai, the explosive note on it as he threw it up towards the top. As it exploded, as all of the ice came rushing down, as it trampled right in front of the train, stopping them from getting away. Doto simply went back inside of the train. Well, they have no way to run now, said Naruto, as he held out his hand and started to form a Rasengan. But then out of nowhere a blimp came up. As Naruto narrowed his eyes towards Koyoke, he knew that they were going to go after her. But he needed for her to see something. He knew that up to this point that she hasn't changed her mind yet, and she will never understand if this doesn't happen. So he didn't do anything. As the large man that Naruto defeated earlier came back, he shot a grappling hook towards Koyoke and grabbed her. Kakashi and Sakura and Sasuke spring into action, but dozens of ice spikes came out of the ground, intended to pierce them, as they had to flip away. They're getting away, Sakura said. We have to do something. Princess, Sandia called out. As Sasuke looked around, where's Naruto? As Kakashi narrowed his one eye looking around. As Sakura looked up, you gotta be kidding me, she said. How is he doing that? As the group looked up to see Naruto running in the air, as he was stepping on strange burst of air going up. As Kakashi realized what Naruto was doing, as he can see that Naruto with Affinity has come far and he has mastered to a level where he could practically fly, well, to an extent. As Naruto threw a kunai down towards the ground, as it landed, Kakashi jumped over to the kunai seeing a note attached to it. I'll meet you at the palace, the note read. Sandia, he said, I presume that the terrain hasn't changed. It's the same way to the palace. Well, because of the snow, some things have been covered over or buried. So we will have to take the longer way around. As Kakashi nodded, let's move out. Sensei, what about Naruto? Don't worry, said Kakashi. Naruto will be just fine, he said. Meanwhile, back on the airship, you have grown quite lovely, Koyoke, said Dodo with a smile on his face. What do you want, she said. Well, you see, when I gained this land from your father, as she glared at him the way he phrased that, all of his treasures were gone. But I know the place that he kept all of them. And there's a keyhole there. And there's only one thing that can fix in that keyhole. And that's a hex crystal that you have. So my dear, with all of that treasure, I will use it to gain enough military power to take over all the 5 great nations. Suddenly, the door was kicked open as Naruto stepped inside. Well, that is a rather dumb idea, he said. Huh, even with treasures, do you really think that you can have that kind of manpower to take over the 5 great nations? I don't even know with the kind of people that you're going to hire if you can take over the Hinasone or even Sand. Come on, man. Naruto, said Koyoke. At your service, Princess, Naruto said. You have made a grave mistake by coming here, boy. As Naruto narrowed his eyes, suddenly a large man came out at him as he swung his gauntlet straight towards Naruto's skull to crack it, to get revenge from earlier. You're starting to get annoying, Naruto said, as he jumped up, jumping over the gauntlet, before smashing his foot into the man's skull, knocking him down to the ground. As he landed, he knew what was going to happen as he quickly dropped his guard. Suddenly, he was wrapped around by wires. As a large man picked up himself, let's kill this brat. Wait, Dodo said. It's time to put our new invention to a test. As he looked at Ruga, as Ruga went over and grabbed the object. What's that, Koyuki said. We're cleansing him of his chakra. That device will absorb anything stored in his body. Hey kid, are you sure about this, Kurama asked. Don't worry about it, Naruto said. I can handle it. I just need her to understand, because if I don't do this, she will not. And if things get too bad, while I'm unconscious, you just take control and rip everyone to shreds. That sounds like a plan, said Kurama. I knew you would like that, said Naruto. As Ruga walked over and slammed the object right into Naruto's stomach, as the thing started to electrocute him. God damn it, he cursed. Was it so bad? As he collapsed down. As the large man looked at him before punching Naruto over the head, knocking him out cold. Now, princess, as you can see, their rescue has failed. Can you please hand over the crystal, said Doto. As Koyuki took out the crystal, here, she said. He looked at it for a few seconds before his eyes get angry as he crushed it. What the hell do you take me for, a fool? He said. What are you talking about? She said. This is a fake. Where is the real crystal? Her eyes went wide. They must have switched it somehow. As Dodo shook his head. It doesn't matter. They will come here eventually looking for you. And I will take it off their corpse, he said. Time skip. Koyuki was in the cell across from Naruto as she heard him groan. As Naruto blinked twice and opened his eyes. As he looked up, as he was hanging from the ceiling. Don't bother, said Koyuki. After what he did to you, there's no way you're getting out of that. So might as well just get... As she heard lightning, the spark of electricity, as she looked over. What are you doing, you fool? It will keep on shocking you until you die. As Naruto looked up at her, she then saw his eyes. They were red with splits in them. The object on his stomach started to crack before exploding. Whoa, Naruto said, shaking it off. That shit drained most of my chakra. As he unsealed something from his arm before plopping it into his mouth. Closing his eyes, he snapped them back open, feeling nice. As he then smashed the chains, shocking Koyuki, as he simply breaked it off his foot with pure force of chakra. As he then went over to the bars, Koyuki was amazed to what she was seeing. He was doing this without any effort. The moment he touched it, it shocked him. But Koyuki saw that he wasn't even looking like he was struggling. As his entire body then started lit up with lightning. It was different from the light that was being produced by the bars. She then watched as he overrode the system, frying it. Before he literally pried it open. How are you doing that? Chakra is an amazing thing, said Naruto, as he stepped outside. The moment he did, he was bombarded by kunais from the snow ninjas. He simply vanished in a burst, as Koyuki heard screams before everything went quiet. As Naruto came back, so princess, he said, do you want to be rescued? You know, if I rescue, would it be like some romantic thing like, I am the Prince Charming and I rescued the princess, and then you'll have to sleep with me? What? Said Koyuki. Should you really be joking in a time like this? Yes, Naruto said. It's quite fun to joke when you're in serious danger. As Koyuki blinked. Are you for real? She asked. Come on, Princess, Naruto said as he looked her right into the eyes. Were you really about to give up? You know, I expected better from you. What the hell do you know about me anyway? She asked. That's the thing, Naruto said. The reason I expected better from you is, you have already lost so much. Why do you keep on just losing? The only way from here is up, because there is no other way to go down. You say that you lost everything, and your heart is dead, right? So what if it is? So why don't you fill your heart back with something to give you joy in this world? Why should I? What's the point? She said. As Naruto looked at her with a charming smile. Because that's the reason for living. If you continue on this way, you will just go through life as a shell, a zombie. But I can see that you want to live despite your protest of wanting to die. So cut the crap, princess. What do you say you survived this? As Koyuki felt a stir in her heart, looking at this boy. But he doesn't understand. Why should she even listen to him? But she didn't know why she was feeling this way. As she just shook her head. I suggest you stand back, said Naruto, as he placed his hands on the bar, as he did the same thing before prying them open with brute strength, surprising her once more. How do you keep on doing that? She said. I'll tell you later, he said, as he started to move off with her. Suddenly, a snow ninja landed right in front of them. Hey Kakashi-sensei, said Naruto. What? That's one of the enemies, she said. Kakashi pulled off his disguise. I see you found it out rather quickly. So are you okay? And the princess? Yeah, she's just fine, said Naruto. So what do you say we get the hell out of here? I was thinking the same thing, said Kakashi, as the both of them started to head off. Wait, Koyuki said. Which one of you has my crystal? Oh, that was me, said Naruto. You took it? I thought it was him. As she looked at Kakashi. Well, when I heard the other girl said that she was here for the crystal, I decided to take it in case anything happened and replace it with a fake one. As he unsealed the crystal from his arm and threw it to her, which she caught it. As she placed her on her neck. Come on, let's go, he said, as he started to move off once more. Huh, found you. As the group stopped, as a large man came back with a gauntlet on his arm. You think I'll really let you escape? Even you blonde. Naruto blurred away with pure speed. I told you were annoying, Naruto said. Rasengan as he drive a Rasengan right into the man's face, knocking him straight off the ledge. As Naruto watched the man fall, deep down. Served you right, Naruto said. As he looked back at the group, you guys coming? As they then turned, they saw Sakura and Sasuke. So you guys finally made it, huh? You idiot, Sakura said. What the hell is wrong with you just going off on your own? Hey, I saved the princess, come on, give me a break. And are you worried about me, Naruto asked. I thought you didn't care about me. Aw, how sweet, he said. Of course I don't. Come on, Sasuke, at least you care about me, Naruto said. As Sasuke simply huffed. As Koyuki looked at Naruto, she didn't know what was it about this boy. He was just strange. And just looking at him, the way he acted, the way he talked, it made her want to smile, but no. Why would she? As they then enter a large room. I knew you would make it here, princess, said Doto, as he got out of his throne. Did you got what I asked for? Suddenly, Koyuki ran off. Koyuki, said Sakura. As Kakashi narrowed his eyes, this was bad. Yes, I did, she said. She's betraying us, Sakura shouted. Of course I'm betraying you. I am an actress after all. Can't you tell when I'm acting? Now hand it over, Doto said, as she took off the hex crystal and gave it to him. Yes, smart girl. As I said before, I'm an actress, she said, as she pulled out a knife and tried to stab him. As he looked at her with an angry sneer, you wretched little, as he was about to grab her neck, but a feet implanted in his face, as he smashed into the other side of the wall. You okay, Princess, Naruto asked, as he landed right in front of her. Yes, I'm fine, she said. I knew you wouldn't betray us so easily. And how do you know that, she asked. Because I have faith in you. As she looked at him, you have faith in me? Yeah, after all, I'm here to protect you, he said. Yet again she felt that strange feeling, as she looked at this boy. What the hell was that? Stupid naive child, said Dodo, as he picked up himself and threw off his robe, as he was in an upgraded battle armor. So, is that new or something, Naruto asks? This is the pinnacle of this armor. There is no way that you can do anything to me now in this. Well then, we will just have to... Naruto had to quickly jump away as several ice spikes nearly impaled him where he was. You again, said Naruto, as Dodo jumped up, as Naruto looked up at Ruga. As suddenly, Koyuki was grabbed. Naruto, she called out, as the top of the building exploded by Fubuki, as he flew away with her. I'll be right there, Princess, Naruto said, as yet again he was so nonchalant with his response, as she was taken away by Dodo. As Naruto turned towards his group, how about you guys deal with them? I'll go after the princess. Be careful, Naruto, said Kakashi. I will, Naruto said, as suddenly he blasted off the ground with pure wind manipulation. Fubuki jumped up trying to stop him. Where do you think you're? She couldn't get to finish that sentence as he slapped her across the face, sending her straight down to the ground. As Naruto looked at her, sorry, don't have time for bitches, he said, as he blew himself straight out of the hole. As Kakashi turned towards Sakura and Sasuke, let's hurry up and deal with these guys, and meet up back with Naruto. As he looked over, it's time that we finish this, he said. I couldn't agree with that more, Ruga said. Moments later, as Dodo finally arrived, he had a big smile on his face. Now, he said, I will finally get the legendary treasure that I've been searching for so long. And then with my goal to take over the elemental nations, no one will stop me, he said, as he placed in the hex crystal and turned it. What? What the hell is this, he said, as he saw the place start to melt. Spring. Koiki muttered. What was that, he said. It seems like you were wrong about the treasure. As Dodo had a pissed off look on his face. So all this time, this was a machine to destroy the snow and bring spring? As a small smile came on her face, as Dodo stepped forward. I guess there is no point of keeping you alive right now. If you lay a finger on her, I'll kill you. Dodo turned. You again, he said, as he looked over at Naruto, this time I'll make sure I finish you, boy. As he went through hand sign, Ice Style Black Dragon Blizzard. As the thing came towards Naruto, Naruto speed through hand sign, Wind Style Gale Palm. As he fired off a blast of wind that destroyed the Black Dragon. Damn you, brat! As Doto went through hand sign again, Ice Style Black Dragon Blizzard. As he thrust his two arms forward, as 5 dragons came out of each arms, rushing towards Naruto. As they imploded up on the ground where he was, destroying everything. Naruto Koyuki screamed out, thinking that hit him. As Dodo smiled. Finally, I got rid of that brat, he said. Naruto, she screamed out his name again, hearing nothing in reply. Hey, princess! As she looked up in the sky, the entire clouds parted away. Dodo looked up in shock, as the entire clouds, everything were blown away by a destructive wind that let the sun start to shine down on them. Do you believe in me, Naruto asked. I do, she screamed. I believe in you, she said. As Naruto raised his hand as a massive Rasengan form. You are by far the greatest ninja I ever met. I'm glad you know that, he said. You impudent little brat. As Dodo watched as a giant Rasengan started to change color. Is that? Said Koyuki. As the rainbow, as the ice glaciers all started to shine around. Dodo went through hand sign. Twin Dragon Blizzard, he said, as he created a massive tornado. As Naruto came down. Suck on this, he said. Rasengan as he tear right through the tornado and smashed into Dodo's armor with great force. As the entire armor was consumed in the explosion. As Dodo's body was sent sailing before cracking into the giant ice glacier. Before the man fell down. Ooh, Naruto said. That was kind of fun. The next thing he knew, Koyuki hugged him. As Naruto turned towards her. Oh, princess, he said. If you want to get intimate here, I have no problem. And besides, now that the snow is gone, we can lay down right here naked on the grass. As that made her blush red. You know, you're a strange kid, she said. But I'm glad I met you. Me too, said Naruto. I guess a little show is going to play, he said as he looked up. What are you? As she saw her younger self, along with her father, as she wanted to fight for justice. As Koyuki started to cry, but Naruto held her. But they were tears of joy. As they didn't hear the director shouting. As he got all of that. That was just beyond amazing. As Kakashi gave Naruto an eye smile. As he looked at Naruto. As Naruto gave him a thumbs up. As he didn't remember the deal with Jiraiya. I wonder if this counts, said Kakashi. Time skip, as Koyuki has taken over of the Daimyo of the Land of Spring, now renamed from the Land of Snow. As she was currently getting dressed, putting on her royal clothing, until she heard a knock on the door. Who is it, she said. Who do you think? Naruto? Come in, she said, as Naruto opened the door, as he stepped inside. Wow, really luxurious, he said, looking around the room. Yeah, I suppose, she said. Well, you are the new Daimyo, and not to mention that you're still an actress. A well-paid actress indeed. Before he spotted something. Hey, what's this doing here? Don't tell me that you're a pervert, Koyuki, he said. What? What are you? As she then saw the book. Oh, well, that's a new script, she said. Something I'm going to be acting in. So you're gonna do both, Naruto asked. Well, yeah. Running this place and also being an actress. Yeah, I can do both. But this movie, he said. This is... Yes, I know what it is, she said, with a small tint of blush in her cheeks. Well, if you want someone to help you participate as a male role, I will be glad to fill in for that. Really? She said. You know this movie isn't going to be shoot for at least 2 more years, so... Would you? She asked. As Naruto stepped forward. You know, I did save you and all. And whenever the princess gets saved by the hero always gets a kiss in reward. So you want a kiss, she asked. Of course, he said. I am the hero after all. I suppose you're right. As she stepped forward, he gave him a kiss right on the cheek. But at the last second, he turned his head as their lips locked. For a moment, dear Koyuki just stood there. It was then she felt his hands moving all around her. And that surprised her a lot. And the way he was kissing like an expert. That was even more surprising. She knew that he acted this way. But did he actually have the experience to back it up? Her face started to get red and heated. As she didn't find herself pulling away, she found herself leaning in and enjoying it. Yes, she was enjoying it a lot as the both of them continued to kiss, unaware that Naruto left the door wide open until Koyuki was pushed back on the bed by him, as she was surprised by his, stern and manly physique, as she could feel his body under his shirt, as she didn't even know what took over her, but she leaned back into it and even put her arms around his neck, as he was just different. She couldn't believe that she was feeling this way. She knew she always felt something from the moment he saved her again and again, but now it was just intensified by this raw passion. With his enhanced hearing, Naruto could hear the Team 7 footsteps coming, but he didn't say anything. Well, he needed to prove to Jiraiya after all. As Koyuki was lying there, her face getting all heated. Naruto Baka, where? Sakura came to a complete stop as Kakashi looked up on the scene with a wide open eye. Even Sasuke was surprised as the both of them stopped kissing, as Koyuki looked over the shocked expression on her face before she got into the role fit for a daimyo. Team 7, she said, I thank you again for helping me and for all the extra things that you did. And I wish you all safe journey back home. It was our pleasure, said Kakashi. Yes, it was, Naruto said, looking her up and down, as the group was still a bit surprised as Koyuki left the room with them still in there. How? Said Sasuke. Well, Naruto said as he placed his hand behind his head. You just have to know how to talk. Naruto Baka Sakura says she glared at him. What the hell is the matter with you? Huh? What's wrong now, Naruto asks. She's a daimyo and an actress. Why would you harass her like that? What are you talking about? You realized that she liked it, didn't you? You must be jealous, Naruto said. Wondering why I haven't flirted with you yet, or even tried anything against you. Why the hell would I want that, Sakura asks. Must be still bugging you. As Naruto started to walk, as Kakashi gave Naruto a thumbs up, as Naruto gave him back a thumbs up. You're going along with it too, Sensei? Sakura asks. Well, I must say, I'm surprised. And Naruto is quite skilled. I guess you do win the bet. What bet? Sakura asks. As Naruto taps Sasuke on the shoulder. Come with me, Sasuke, and I'll teach you all that I know. And you can get all the beautiful ladies that you want. What? Sakura shouted, making Naruto simply chuckle, as Kakashi just shook his head, but he had an eye smile. Moments later, Koyuki was walking. As she reached down into her pockets, she felt something in it. As she pulled it out, it was a note. As she wondered when did this? As she read it. Hey princess, it's me, Naruto. Love what we did earlier. Maybe next time, now that you're a daimyo and you need an escort or anything else, for a mission to your village, why don't you ask for me personally? As Koyuki blushed, as she still remembered what happened, as that was just different. And the way he acted, the way he moved, and what he did with his tongue in her mouth, that was just beyond. She was surprised. And by the way, love to be in the new movie. Just call me up, he said. Besides, I'm not camera shy. And I'll be sure. Koyuki started to blush as he started to go into details about how he will take her in his arms. As her face became incredibly red. Princess, you okay? Asked Sandia. Yes, I'm fine. As she pocketed the note to read it for later. She then wondered to herself, when the hell did he write this? She just shrugged it off and started to walk. He was very mysterious in many ways. As she smiled, yes, a very mysterious boy indeed. Time skip, it has been a day. As Naruto and Sasuke was currently in the forest, they were not at Konoha yet, as they took some time to get towards the boat, and plus to get towards the land of snow. So yeah, they were not there yet. As it was currently late in the evening, they were currently set up at a hotel in a small village, as Kakashi was off somewhere, and Sakura was back in one of the rooms, as they will be returned to Konoha tomorrow. Sasuke went through hand signs. He fired a large fireball towards Naruto, as Naruto went through hand sign as well. Earth style, he said, mud wall, as he slammed his hands on the ground, as a massive mud wall erupted out, blocking Sasuke's fireball. Sasuke then saw several shurikens coming at him. As he jumped over them, he then saw Naruto blade coming at him. From what he had seen so far, Naruto always used a flash to his blade, so he just wouldn't allow it to come near to him as he pulled a kunai and hit Naruto blade away. As the blade landed on the ground, Sasuke looked around trying to find Naruto. Suddenly Naruto flashed behind him and kicked him right in the back, knocking him down to the ground. Sasuke got up and cursed. "How did you do that? I knocked away your blade." "You think my blade is the only thing that I can mark?" Naruto asked. As Naruto picked up the kunai he threw at Sasuke earlier and threw it back at him before vanishing and appearing behind Sasuke and knocking Sasuke down to the ground. Sasuke grunted as he got up and swung at Naruto before Naruto caught his arm. As Naruto palm struck Sasuke right in the stomach, knocking the wind out of him as Sasuke collapsed down to his knees. Before Naruto kicked him over to the side, Sasuke grunted as he spit out spit and blood. "Had enough?" Naruto asked. "Not even close," Sasuke said, as Naruto simply smirked as the both of them rushed at it again. Moments later, as Sasuke was exhausted as he leaned up against a tree, he had told Naruto to, well, not hold back, even though he figured that the blonde was still holding something back. He wanted to see. "So what do you think?" Sasuke asked. "Do you think I can match up with him?" He didn't know how the blonde knew about it, but he somehow knew how strong Itachi is, or that he say. "Well, do you want the honest answer, or do you want me to sugarcoat it for you?" "Tell me straight," Sasuke said. "Hell no," said Naruto. As Sasuke grunted, "How do you know anyway?" "Calm down, Sasuke," Naruto said. "Jeez, you just keep on going off, getting angry so quickly. But trust me, Sasuke, you're not ready to fight Itachi yet. But I guess you will just have to see for yourself one of these days." "What's that supposed to mean?" "Forget about it," said Naruto. He was sure by now that the Akatsuki has started to go after the Jinchurikis, and Itachi and Kisame was to be his first opponent. But things have changed, because he wasn't going after Tsunade yet. Yes, he will have to bring that up in a meeting. Tsunade was heavily needed back at Konoha to heal the people, and the old man doesn't look like he wants to stay Hokage for too long. So yeah, they needed Tsunade. As Naruto got up, "Come on," he said, as he helped out the exhausted Sasuke as they went back to the hotel. Later that night, as Naruto and Sasuke was in one room, as Sasuke was currently lying down looking up at the ceiling. "Hey, you awake?" Sasuke asked. As Naruto yawned, "No, I'm sleeping," he said. Sasuke grunted a bit. "Come on, Sasuke, it's just a joke," Naruto said. "Do you ever think that I'll be able to beat him?" Sasuke said. He didn't know when he became so comfortable to talk to the blonde like this, but it just happened. "Well, if you ask me," Naruto said, "you will. There is no doubt about that, Sasuke. You will keep on becoming stronger, and you will just keep on growing. One day, you will see how far you have come, and by sheer hard work, not because of you taking the easier way out of things. That is why I want you to go down this path, because it is the right way after all." As Sasuke just looked up, was the dope really right? Could he one day defeat Itachi and revenge his clan? Could that really be a possibility? Up to this point, he doesn't know what Itachi is really capable of, but he had to make sure when the time comes, he's ready to get revenge for his clan and take down Itachi once and for all. The both of them heard a knock on their door, as Sasuke narrowed his eyes at Naruto. As Naruto channeled chakra down into his throat. "Who is it?" he said, making his voice sound rather deep. As Sasuke wondered why did he do that, and who could it be this late of the night? As there was no answer, but there was another knock on the door. "Hey, hold on," Naruto said in a rather quiet voice, before he pulled out two paper tags with strange markings on them. It was a sealing tag. "What are you?" As Naruto placed it right on Sasuke's forehead before starting to pump chakra into it. Meanwhile, outside, "This is the right room, isn't it?" asked a man, as the shorter one didn't say anything, before they heard, "Come in," but the voice was much deeper. As they wonder, yes, it is the right room. Suddenly, the door opened up, as Kisame and Itachi were in for the shock of their life when they looked who was standing there. "No, this can't be," said Kisame, as he was confused as hell to what the hell was really going on. They were supposed to be dead. But guys, be any subscribe right here. If you want the next part of this, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, turn the bell notifications stay posted. Remember to share to all of your friends in social media platform. But I'm out for now, and yeah, see you guys soon. Peace.